Welcome to this Zentangle Quickie. My name is Heather Hartwick Gladden. I'm a certified Zentangle teacher. And today we're going to take a look at the tangle Woo from Joan Stark. And that is Woo with 7 O's. It's important to know that. I'm just kidding, but yes, I did count them. I wanted to make sure I got it right. Okay. Um, what this is a neat tangle. There are some that are similar. I'm thinking of the tangle Gravy. I think it's Gravy dash Y. Oh, I'm trying to remember. No, Gra and then just V, I believe is what it was. Anyway, uh, uh, neat tangle and starts on a big squiggly line. This one though, the one thing I found is just to kind of make sure, and I'm going to go diagonal this way. Don't go too crazy on the initial waviness. I probably could have made it a little bit bigger, but that's okay because we can make up for it. But you want to have it to be nice, have it be a nice curve, but you will see why. All right. The next step that Joan has us do is, and I'm thinking sort of maybe in a straight line. That's what it looked like on hers, but it probably doesn't matter. But I would say maybe midway, looking at whatever from the peak to the valley, just maybe in the middle, just a little dot, and it's a kind of a place marker that ends up blending into your pattern. So, and I found it very very helpful. Sometimes with those, because there are tangles that it's like yeah, totally need that, and as long as it blends in, that's totally cool. But yeah, sometimes I'm like, oh, I'll try it without, and then it's like, yeah, no, it's helpful. So do put them in. And I'm going to start this one in the middle. So where your curve goes up from those two dots, we're going to essentially aura that curve. But you can have as much fun with it as you want. And I would say, per Jones pattern, it's 3 additional. Okay. And I found it was important because there were some places on on the sample that I'll show you in a moment, where like I was going off the page. I'm like, oh, I'll just do 2 here, and that's fine. Nope. Well, if you decorate it the way she shows, you want to have at least 3, so that way you have a middle. Now, completely up to you. It's like I'm okay. That one I've kind of gone around in my sample, and I'll probably do. Let's see. Let's just do. Well, let's do down here. So what I was saying about how much fun you could have with this, so it doesn't matter how big this curve is because this part you can have fun with. You can have them, just go enormous and have big spaces in between or not. It's up to you. Um, the other thing is, see, like this one, the pen decided it was going to go around, and so there you have this little gap here. Where this one, it kind of traced over a little bit of the previous line, so it's a little straighter. Again, completely up to you and how you want to do this, which is what makes it and Zentangle so much fun. And doing a combination of both. And actually, I'm going to add one over here because this is a little curve line. Whoa, okay. And if you do like that, where you're like, well, where was I going with that? You know what? You can do. There's always a course correction. So that, oh, hold on a second. Let me pause. My camera's being weird. There we go. Okay. I don't know. Hopefully, you saw all that. These self-adjusting things. All right. I know how many times I'm going to say that. I've got to do some research and get a fine. It's a Microsoft camera. It should be good. It's probably just old. All right. And so there we go. That is it before we decorate. So in Joan's step out, this is what she put. Now, of course, can you decorate it with other things? Of course you can. So in that center one, orbs, and we'll do it how Joan prescribes because it does look very, very nice. And if you want to see it from Joan's hand, make sure that you go to the description section of the video and click on where it says for more inspiration. That will take you to actually Tangle Patterns, which is where I found this, and to the page where this is at. So you don't have to hunt or anything. It just take you right there. And I am filling these in. I always like to do my fill in after I've done the series. Sometimes after I do like all of them, it's that's an up to you thing, personal preference. I know some people that like to like do the orb and then fill in. I don't know why I like to just do them all and then go back. Again, up to you. And I know in Joan's one of Joan's samples, she just left it plain, so you don't have to decorate it at all if you don't want to. You can just leave it the way it is and just add some shading in there. I kind of think it's neat to have it decorated. But again, personal preference. Now, while I am working on suggested decorations, I mean, this is one of them. And thank you for those that put in the comments, yeah, I would like to see that. That would be helpful. I am going to work on that because I think it would be helpful too. Because sometimes there are some that I forget about, and it's like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Stir it up. That's when I always. Sometimes I'll get on a kick, and then I kind of revert back to the ones that I normally do. But it's just nice to. I do think it would be nice to have a little reference. So I'm working on that. All right. Yeah. And then she has us doing some curved lines. And so actually this I like to start in the middle. And you could have these go be as far apart as you would want. This is one where it's like, okay, I'm just being careful not to overshoot and get it in the orb. I think I have enough buffer there. Well, I'm going to do them all the same direction. I'm like, ooh, what if you alternated the direction? That could be interesting. Actually, I'm going to turn it this way. It's a little bit more comfortable on my hand because that way we can use the natural curve. And then try not to do it right outside of the line like that one. Oh my goodness. And sometimes I like to start in the middle like this because that way, it's just that way I can get that curve in that I want, and then I'm essentially auraing or I'm mimicking that curve, but it kind of gets it on a roll, especially with something like this where we start off so small. And it's not a big curve. It's just a little curve. But I find that it's just helpful to start it in the center like that and then just work out both sides. Now, if you end up with too many instances, as I am starting to, and I'll show you what we'll do with that, where you've gone over. Well, actually, I'll show you right now. There's no reason why you can't redefine and thicken a line. Now, what I would do though is because I've done it on that one, I'll do it on all of them. And I'm attempting to trace over that line, but inevitably I go a little past it. And actually, this one, let's do this, and we'll trace around here, and we'll add a little spiral at the end there. Why not? And same thing for the outside. Trace over your line, and then you trace over, and then maybe on purpose go a little outside of it, so that way you're thickening it and covering those little things that you want covered. And this, of course, you can have it be as close together or as far apart as you want. Don't have to do it at all. You can just go right to the shading if you even want to shade. You just gotta love Zentangle. So many options. You get to do what you want to do, and it's so fun. All right, and I'm going to touch up those other things. And while I do that, if you're enjoying this, and I hope that you are, would love to have you click the like button. And also, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, I would love to have you be a subscriber. Let's see, I did those ones. Do this, yeah, because I did a fine job of going over there. And kind of carry it into where that dot is, because that way it looks like you meant it. And you're the only one that knows. Don't tell anybody. Magicians, Zentanglers, or no, it's not really Zentanglers. Tanglers, like magicians, don't give away their secrets. Yeah. And then you can always work to make it, look consistent and all that. And speaking of consistency, let us also, we'll make a little, oh, and nice, I have them going both ways. Ah, love it. Love it. And probably should do, well, the outside wasn't bad, and it is kind of neat having that inside a little thicker than the outside. That adds some interesting depth. All right, so let's do some shading. And I am just going to put some shading where things converge. And I'm just putting it in there, and then we'll bring it out with the tortillon. If you're uncomfortable with shading, or because I know a lot of people that just like, I just don't know what to do, that's a great place to start. Where you see things converge, start there, and just put a little bit in that corner where things converge, and then bring it out just slightly, because you want to make some gradient, but you also, it's really dark. Whoops. You want to have some of the natural tile color left. And I say natural tile color because maybe you're not working on a white tile. Maybe you're working on something else. But whatever color you're working on, if you have at least some of the natural tile color like that, then you get that rounded effect. Let's do these ones on the bottom. And then the other tip with this is, speaking of the tip, you put the even with the pencil, like you put the tip of it where you want the graphite, and then in the tortillon as well, and then I'm always pulling backwards. So it said, like, I would never do this because that just it just can cause a lot of problems. So why go there? So I always have the tip of the tortillon on the graphite on the line that I do not want to cross. And then, like I said, I'm usually, it's kind of a push and pull sometimes, or little circular motions, but it's usually on that line, bringing it down one direction or the other. All right. Let's see how that looks. Ooh. Shading is such magic. It never gets old. It really doesn't. Ugh. So neat. And and let me just say this. As I was doing it, I'm like, oh, okay. These lines look a little wonky. Always get all the way done. Do shading, and then if you need to, don't look at it for a little bit, and then come back, or take a picture of it and look at it through that lens or something. It's just amazing. But it's like a trust the process. Don't worry about things, because I know that there are those out there that do. I only know that because I do the same thing, and I have to tell myself, just keep going, just keep going. In the end, you won't see, there's course corrections, like I said, with these little things, just redefining the line and covering up the little leftovers. Shading hides, as I said, shading hides a multitude of sins. You don't know, and then it detracts your eye from every little thing. And because we're drawing it, and we're working small or with a small pen, and even if you're not working with a small pen, you're still working close up, and so we see everything. And then you just have to remove yourself a little bit from it and then come back. And that's what's neat about just seeing it all the way through and doing your best not to worry about it, and then do the shading and look at it. And like I said, and maybe look at it later, because I have that have to happen a lot, where it's like, who did that? What? And knowing that it's me, but it's just like, I can't believe I did that type of thing. And it's so remarkable and so much fun. So hope you enjoyed this. Here's a sample that I did for this impromptu class that we did today. And I wanted to give this one a try, so I tried it around some muka, and I did it rather small. And this, I decided not only to do the orbs in the center, and it turned out rather neat. And and even working on the black, and on the black, I used the white charcoal the same way that I did with the graphite in the crevices. It works, as you can see. It works just fine. It's really, really, it's really neat. So cute Tangle. It's always nice to have things like this that you can just use as an accent. It's like, well, I want to fill this space, but I don't know with what. And this is a great one. So I mentioned the description section. I mentioned clicking like and subscribing. I hope that you will do both. Feel free to leave comments and share it. Besides the links to the step outs in the description section, you will find ways to connect with me if you wish. I have a link to my website where you'll find the classes I do. I teach twice a week, and on both of those days I do 2 sessions. It's always the same thing. Well, yeah, always the same thing on both sessions, and it's a lot of fun. Thursday, at least Thursday my time, it's called Tangle Time. Those are always free. I do have the third Tuesday of the month, I do what's called Tough Tangle Tuesday, and that one is also free. The others are paid, so that way I can keep myself in pens and electricity and things like that. And we also, just to mention, because I'm so bad at plugging things that cost money, but I do have a membership club. So if check us out for free, come. We have a lot of regulars. We have a really fun time. It's my brand of Zen, we could say. But we have a lot of fun. We laugh and just enjoy each other's work and the Zentangle process and method. And it's absolutely fantastic. So check us out for free. And if you like us and you think you're going to take at least one class a month, or at least want to have access to the replays, then it is definitely worth the subscription. So with that, let's see, did I forget it? Oh, I did. Speaking of that crazy group of Tangle Addicts, if you'd like to hang out with us, we have a private Facebook group. We'd love to have you. That link is the last link there in the section. My Facebook page is there also, so if you want to follow me there. If you want to join the membership group, or the Facebook group, excuse me, there are a couple questions that we ask in order to gain entry, so we hope that you'll do that. And with that, thanks so much for watching, and I wish you happy tangling.